Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. But what can you say about Tuesday?
Nothing, except it's just me and you. Gene's out. Grant's going to join me later on, just after 8 o'clock. But for the time being, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. So yeah, just us hanging out on a Tuesday. Very cold. Not as cold as it's going to be on Friday. Oh boy. Temps in the negatives. Looking at a high of negative 10 on Friday, with a low during the overnight of 20 below zero. Yeah. I'm sure I got a few looks yesterday when I was shoveling my driveway in my shorts. Got home from work at about 10:30. Hadn't shoveled on Sunday because the snow kind of never stopped while I was awake, and I like to wait till the snow comes to an end and then shovel rather than do it multiple times. And so, yeah, yesterday got home and people driving by like, look at that idiot. Out there in his shorts. Yeah, I was in my shorts, and I was rocking my dude shoes as well. I was thoroughly unprepared for any extra time outdoors, but I was doing it. I'm going to do it again today when I got to shovel the back of the house. I got a deck out there that needs to be shoveled off. So, yeah, it is what it is. I just don't want to go through the rigmarole of having to put on pants and then take off pants. And anyways, it's New Release Tuesday. We'll tell you what's coming out. Again, we'll talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. Because it's going to be so cold, we'll give you some cold weather hacks. Lots and lots of other stuff to get to. And as always, when I'm flying solo, I would like some correspondence with you guys. Requests. Let me know what you're up to. Maybe show me the picture of the temperature on your dash. Whatever it is. rockmornings.com for all our contact info. Or you can download the two apps, the 95.7 The Rock or the 92.9 The X app. Hell, download them both. And then you can submit voicemails and pictures and videos right there through the app, along with emails and all that stuff. But, yeah, please stay in touch with me this morning as I'll be flying solo for the next couple hours till Grant Bilse gets on the phone just after 8 a.m.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
America, you're not just buying land, you're buying a country. Greenland, 800,000 square miles of ice and snow, only $700 billion. That's right, $700 billion. Greenland comes with free polar bears, glaciers, tundra, and Arctic real estate. No warranty, no refunds, no thinking required. Act now and you'll also get unpredictable weather, zero infrastructure, and a maintenance plan your grandchildren will still be paying off forever. Don't ask questions. Buy now. Greenland, the price is insane.
So I don't know. I guess we're still trying to get Greenlands. Are we moving in? Are we just taking it over? What are we doing? We're trying to buy it? Or are we just going to kind of absorb it? President Donald Trump yesterday sharing what appeared to be a message from French President Emmanuel Macron, questioning his moves on Greenland amid the administration's renewed push to take control of the territory. Screenshots on Trump's Truth Social post late last night said, "My friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland." Macron also offered to host a G7 meeting in Paris after the World Economic Forum in Switzerland this week. According to the message that Trump posted, "Let us try to build great things." Trump did not include a reason for sharing the message, captioning with the post by saying, quote, note from President Emmanuel Macron of France. I guess we'll find out. Meanwhile, a petition has been signed by over 200,000 people in Denmark calling on the country to buy California as an apparent response to the Trump's administration renewed calls for the U.S. to acquire Greenland. The campaign, the petition, hosted on Denmarkification.com. So Denmarkification.com imagines a world where Denmark purchases America's most populous states and rebrands it New Denmark, and even renames Disneyland as Hans Christian Andersen Land. Good luck there with all that. You can have California, got to be honest. Not a fan. Not a fan. Meanwhile, a little closer to home, the Department of Defense placing roughly 1,500 active duty Army soldiers on standby for possible deployment to Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, all that, due to the escalating unrest tied to federal immigration enforcement operations. According to the reporting, soldiers are assigned to the Army's 11th Airborne Division based in Alaska. The unit specializes in rapid response in extreme weather conditions and maintains the logistical capability to deploy quickly inside the U.S. if directed. Pentagon officials emphasizing that no deployment order has been issued yet, and the move reflects readiness planning rather than an active mission. But 1,500 military members now, active military members on standby, waiting to see what happens in Minneapolis over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, if you've always wanted to go to Vegas to check out the Sphere, and we might, because rumors are that Metallica is going to have a residency there in 2027. And if that happens, you know your boy has got to be there, because I'm a huge Metallica fan, and I've been to over 65 shows in my life. Seen Metallica many times in lots of different arenas, indoor, outdoor. Never really seen them in a small club, which I always thought would be really cool. But I've seen them, in arenas all over the country. And the Sphere, of course, is lighting up the interwebs. People are very excited. They're going there for all sorts of different shows and performances. And Metallica's supposed to be at the Sphere sometime in 2027. We'll see. They're working on it. Haven't come up with a solution yet. But the Sphere, apparently, Sphere Entertainment, is now planning a much smaller replica in National Harbor, Maryland. A 6,000-seat replica of the Vegas Sphere is planned for National Harbor, Maryland, offering the same 16K by 16K interior LED screen. Our focus has always been on creating a global network of spheres across forward-looking cities, according to the executive chairman and chief executive officer of Sphere Entertainment. The proposed National Harbor location would have a capacity of 6,000 seats, about a third of the Vegas venue. Like the current Sphere, though, the smaller version would also feature Exosphere, with the exterior LED display showcasing a rotating slate of artistic and branded content. The venue would also be fitted with 16K by 16K interior display plane, which is the same resolution as the Vegas Sphere, highest resolution LED screen out there. Obviously, they'll have a ton of other stuff in there in terms of like 4D environmental effects to make the Vegas location, haptic seating, all that stuff. So your seats shake while you're sitting there and enjoying the show. Sounds like it'd be a good time. Not quite sure if National Harbor, Maryland is closer than Vegas, but being that I'm an East Coaster, it might make more sense to go that way, and then I can just take a quick jaunt up to New England and get some lobster rolls. Got a text from Doc. He said it's 15 below right now in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Ugh. Got a text from Matt. Picture of his dashboard. Minus 19 in Sparta. Oof. Jacob says he's starting his deliveries in Sparta. His readout, his digital display there. First of all, Jacob, you got to get your engine checked. Your engine light is on there. You got your check engine light. You might want to bring that in, have it looked at. Either that or put some tape over it so you don't have to see it every time you turn your vehicle on. Minus 10, according to Jake's vehicle. So Jake and Matt are both in Sparta, and there's a 9-degree difference. Is Sparta big enough for a 9-degree difference? I didn't think so. It is the bicycle capital of the world. 19 below, according to Matt, who is in Sparta. Jacob, who is also in Sparta, according to his vehicle, it's 10 below. Tyler from Sparta, last night got home to my furnace not working, got that fixed. Then this morning the water pipes are frozen. Home ownership is fun. Anyway, could I get some shine down to help get things off on the right foot? Jesus, dude. That sounds terrible. Sorry, Brian, or Tyler. Apparently Sparta is very cold. I will get to your shine down to help you get a better morning, but sorry to hear about your water pipes. Also got a text from Chris. Happy to trade California for Greenland. No need for a petition. Been looking for a way to get rid of that place anyhow. Earthquake breaking them off into the ocean seems to be taking too long. Well, they just had an earthquake last night, I think, 4.9. If I remember the total there. I saw it on a website, but Chris and Doc and Jacob and Matt and Tyler, thank you very much for the text messages this morning. Tyler, I'll get to your shine down here in a couple of minutes.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That is requested shine down for Tyler, who came home to a broken furnace last night and then woke up to some broken pipes, frozen pipes this morning. That is a bad way to start the week. Tyler, I hope that song helps. Shine down by request. Lots of other texts and requests coming in. Allison texted in. She said, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Can you play me some Stained? I can. I will. Chris wants to trade California for Greenland. No need for a petition. Thank you, Chris. Doc said it's 15 below in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Matt in Sparta said it's sent in a picture of his dash. It's 19 below. I told him it makes my nipples hard. He said it's like cutting glass. Tyler said, thanks for the song. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Seth said, sorry, it's blurry, but it's 21 below by Fort McCoy. That must be where the 19 below is. You guys must be on opposite sides of Sparta. Let's see. Tom wants to hear some Uncle Tom's Cabin by Warrant. I'll try to get to that. We're looking forward to seeing Warrant in March at the Lacrosse Center as part of the Turn Up the Good Times tour. Chris said, what did he send in here? Sent in a picture. Cold as balls. Doesn't even have a temperature. Thank you, Chris. I told Jacob, who said he was starting his deliveries in Sparta and sent in a picture of his dash where it's 10 below. I told him to fix that engine light. He said, that light is always on. It goes into the shop for repairs, and the next day it comes right back on again. A beater with a heater. That's all you need, bro. That's all you need. Beater with a heater. You can just put black electric tape over those, and they'll just cease to exist. Got a text from, not quite sure who this is. They said, my car in BRF, Black River Falls, shows 13 below. Ice fishing today will be fun. I said, best of luck out there. Don't fall in. Yeah, we went out to lunch yesterday. My wife had the day off because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so when I got home from work, we went out for lunch, and the spot that we stopped at, a couple of guys came in with all their ice fishing gear on, and one of the people in the bar said, did you catch anything? And they said, nope. And he said, I'm glad I didn't decide to go out there today. So good luck to you out there on the ice. Don't fall in. Of course, the college football national championship game last night, Indiana Hoosiers beating the Miami Hurricanes 27-21. They remain undefeated and win the program's first ever national title.
Back, steps up, delivers downfield, and intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
That, of course, was the big interception that essentially ended the game.
A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
Yeah. There'll be no taking off of the belt and whipping Indiana on the sidelines. Michael Irvin, we're watching you, buddy. Indiana with the big win last night in the national championship game. Bucks, I don't know what the hell's going on. They got the win, but boy, it got ugly there at the end.
McCollum. Kuzma defending. A two can tie it. McCollum working. Lost the ball. Scoops it back up. Forces up for prayer. Shot is no good. Giannis the rebound, and it's all over.
Yeah, the Bucks, they blew a 23-point lead, almost lost the game, but held on 112-110. Next up, the Bucks are at home against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night at 8:30, that game will be on ESPN. But the Bucks yesterday in the afternoon beating the Hawks 112-110. AFC and NFC Conference Championships are on Sunday, starting with my Patriots at the Broncos, 2 o'clock on CBS and also on Paramount Plus. Still haven't figured out what we're going to do. We'll see what kind of condition I'm in on Sunday morning after the Riverfront Revolt, because 2 nights in a row of concerts can be difficult. Sometimes the liver is just sort of like, dude, we need a break. We need a day off before we go back to work. And so we'll see what happens on Sunday morning. Maybe a bloody and some greasy breakfast will get me on the right foot. But then after the Pats and Broncos, you've got the Rams and the Seahawks on Sunday at 5:30. That game, of course, will be on Fox. The Dolphins picking the pocket of the Green Bay Packers. They're hiring the Packers DC. Their defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, will be the next head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Hafley spent 2 seasons as the Packers DC, during which the Green Bay Packers ranked 9th in yards allowed per game, 6th in yards per game, and 8th in points allowed per game. So they were not too bad on defense, and now he takes his talents to South Beach. It's going to Miami, much like LeBron did many years ago. The Seahawks, by the way, who, of course, play the Rams on Sunday afternoon at 5:30, they'll be without their leading touchdown scorer for the rest of the season after their running back, Zach Charbonnet, suffered a significant knee injury, torn ACL, is what they're saying. And the NBA, the National Basketball Association, announcing their starters for next month's All-Star game yesterday. And for the first time in a long time, LeBron James was not one of the starters. That's right, LBJ, the king. The king is dead. Old-ass bum. Not a starter for the All-Star game. His teammate Luka Doncic led the Western Conference voting, joined by Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic, SGA from the Oklahoma City Thunder, also San Antonio Spurs center Victor Wembanyama, and Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry are the starting 5 in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo topped the voting in the East, and he'll be joined by Knicks guard Jalen Brunson, 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey, Pistons guard Cade Cunningham, and Celtics forward Jaylen Brown. But for the first time in a long time, LeBron James not a starter in the NBA All-Star game. Sports on Rock Mornings. Got a text from Rob. Said it's 20 below by Norwalk. Bethany said no picture, but my dash said 28 in the garage, 16 below in Reedstown, went up to 8 below in Viroqua. It's like a friggin' heat wave in Viroqua. It's all those hippies down there eating soy and tofu, not shaving their pits. That's what's happening down there. Thanks, Bethany. Appreciate it. I'll try to get to that requested warrant here in a bit. Also, that stained for Allison. Got lots of requests rolling in, only so much time, but we'll try to get to both of those here in a few minutes.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
What a way to finish this playoff, 16-0.
The 2026 college football national champions, Coach Kurt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers.
If you keep your nose down in life and keep working, anything is possible. Great job tonight. Great job by our fans.
And the Hoosiers are national champions. I think they want to sing their song.
If you thought the Indiana Hoosiers and their fans would be singing Queens, we are the champions, but here they are, and all things are possible.
The Heisman Trophy winner from right here in Miami, the Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Great job, let's go!
Again, the Indiana Hoosiers beating the Miami Hurricanes last night in the College Football National Championship. Mendoza expected to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft. That guy was fighting for it, too, during the game. Sometimes, when you're the consensus number 1 overall draft pick, you might not want to be, rushing the ball like he was to get to the end zone, but he took a couple of thumps there on that run, and it was just impressive to see. And if you don't know much about him, by the way, you should read more about him. Pretty interesting guy. I know he's kind of dorky looking, but Mom has MS, and him and his brother have restaurants with burgers, and they raise money for MS, and his dad doesn't stand up and cheer at the games because the mom's in a wheelchair, and it's just it's a very interesting story, that Fernando Mendoza, and likely to be the number one draft pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Tonight on television, it's the Coast to Coast Tuesday on NBC. Rockets hosting the Spurs. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. on NBC, followed by the Nuggets and the Lakers at 10 p.m. The NBA back on NBC this season, and on Tuesdays they got a coast-to-coast twofer. Of course, they had a bunch of games yesterday as well for the Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Meanwhile, on Netflix today, the series premiere of Star Search. Anthony Anderson hosting the reboot of the talent competition with Jelly Roll, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chrissy Teigen as the judges.
Star Search, the greatest talent competition ever, is back.
And the world's next great superstar
is waiting to be crowned.
We're talking dancers, musicians, singers, magicians, comedians, and more.
All taking the stage to perform for this epic panel of judges.
But the most important judge is you.
Vote in real time for your favorite stars as they compete head-to-head.
Star Search, Netflix series premiere today. Also on Netflix today, the second season premiere of WWE Unreal.
Sorry to disappoint everyone, but I'm not a fan of this show. I grew up in an era where you defended the secrecy of this business. That's how we earn our living.
Over the next several months, we just keep raising the stakes until we get to SummerSlam. No days off here.
Seth freaking Rollins!
If we can make people believe that Seth is injured,
that's where the magic happens.
Lying to my friends and family?
That guilt is always hard. My daughter, she says, I told Miss Joy that you had a pretend boo-boo. I said, no, Rouge, you can't do that.
Season 2 premiere of WWE Unreal on Netflix today. A look behind the curtain. See what's going on in reality. Also tonight on television, new episodes of Best Medicine, Will Trent, Doc, High Potential, and The Rookie. Will Smith, Josh Hart, and the Lemonheads are going to be on with Fallon, late night TV. Kimmel's talking to Rachel McAdams, Judd Apatow, and his musical guest will be the Temper Trap. I don't know who that is, but Rachel McAdams is going to be in that movie Send Help, which looks pretty good. Gets stranded on an island with her boss, and she has to, kick his ass. Stephen Colbert is going to be talking to Bernie Sanders and Lucinda Williams. And on Seth Meyers tonight, you've got Billy Bob Thornton from Landman and Heidi Gardner. I've had several people tell me about Landman. Said it's basically Yellowstone, but with oil, and in Texas. Might have to check it out. It is New Release Tuesday as well, and there's stuff on DVD if you want to pick it up. Wicked for Good, rated PG, starring all the cast and crew that you know of. Of course, Ariana Grande, Jeff Goldblum, yada, yada, yada. Wicked for Good on DVD today for New Release Tuesday.
There's no going back. This is between us, the wizard and I.
The Wicked Witch can't elude us forever. Not with Prince Fiero and his squadron hot on her trail.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. No one believed in you more than I did.
Alphaba.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Yeah. So the second one, right? Wicked for Good. Singing, dancing, having a good time. Also on DVD today for New Release Tuesday, rated R, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro. One Battle After Another. A group of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue their daughter after an evil enemy resurfaces 16 years later. Also on DVD, a movie called Roof Man, stars Channing Tatum, Peter Dinklage, Kirsten Dunst, based on a true story. Criminal on the run from the police hides in the hidden space of a toy store essentially in between the roof and the ceiling. Adopts a new identity, becomes involved with an employee, begins a relationship as unlikely as it is risky. Roofman.
It's been 6 months and still no leads on the whereabouts of the escaped convict known as the Roofman.
I was never very good at life.
Good morning, team. No. Don't be scared.
Kind of like I was not good at hurting people.
Dwayne, get your coat.
I don't have one.
Are you serious?
Here. But I was good at seeing things. Details. Systems and routines.
A manhunt tonight for an escaped prisoner.
Find a safe place to hide for a few months.
He's a very smart individual, super intelligent.
Roofman, rated R, starring C. Tates. Also on new release Tuesday, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. This is the one with Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. You've also got Paul Walter Hauser, David Krumholtz, basically the story of Bruce Springsteen and his 1982 album Nebraska. Also on DVD today for new release Tuesday, a movie called Altered, rated PG-13, starring Tom Felton, who you might remember as Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter films.
Okay, so we messed up, but the world didn't end. We rebuilt it better, for some. The genetics. Genetically improved humans that live like kings. Then there's the specials. Although there's nothing special about us.
Proposition 42 enables genetic enhancements for everyone.
Fix my suit. I'll take it triple.
Deal. It's triple free. We don't go to the genetic district.
Trust me.
Altered, rated PG-13. In an alternate present, genetically enhanced humans dominate society and the outcasts fight for justice, yada, yada, yada. He's got a suit, and some people have special powers, and that's what's new on New Release Tuesday. Got a text from Sarge, who said it's very cold at the Lock and Dam this morning. Much colder than it was yesterday. Be safe down there, Sarge, and try to stay warm. He's only got 2.5 more years left, and then it's retirement. Got that going for you. Meanwhile, Allison also texted in, wanted to hear some Stain, so here you go, Allison.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Got a text from someone in Iowa, said, is there a problem with the streaming services or is it my junk phone? Well, I tried on my phone and it worked, and I also tried on my laptop and it worked, so it might be your phone or maybe your cell service where you're at. Apologies. Got a text from someone who said, I was listening this morning, and it's a little cold in rural Chaseburg as well. 22 below. Look at that dash, huh? 80% humidity, feels like 29 below, according to this person's digital readout on their computer screen in their car. Gives you the date, gives you the time. Today's high temperature would be outdoor 17 below, indoor 66. That's nice. Thank you for the text messages about the weather. I appreciate that. If you've got anything else you want, let me know. Tom wanted to hear some Warrant. We did that earlier. Allison wanted to hear some Stained. Just did that. Did some Shine Down as well for Tyler, who came home to a broken furnace last night and some frozen pipes this morning. Bethany saying it's 28 in the garage, but 16 below in Reedstown, and then went up to 8 below in Viroqua. Chilly. Not going to get much better either. We're looking at a high of about 10 degrees in our area today. Somewhere around 20 tomorrow. Might see some snow in the evening tomorrow. Thursday back down to about 10 degrees and then 10 below on Friday. And that's the high during the day. So if you got to do anything outdoors this week, try to get it done during the week as opposed to on Friday or Saturday when it's going to be brutally cold. This is crazy. I can't imagine. I guess, the doctors, you assume they know better than you, but a guy who recently got a pig kidney, a transplanted pig kidney, a kidney from a pig, finally got a human one. Dude is named Tim Andrews. He's 67. Recently got a genetically modified pig kidney about a year ago. Had it for a record 271 days. Can you imagine? Like you're in need of a kidney and you go in and you can't get one and no one's, you're not on the, you're on the list and you're waiting and they're like, here's what we're going to do. I suppose at that point, right, when you've run out of options and all the other things, you've done all the things that you can do, they're like, sure, throw one in there. He's diabetic, had end-stage kidney disease, so they removed his kidney, put in the genetically modified kidney of a pig about a year ago, and then they recently removed the pig kidney in October, went back on dialysis, and finally got a call last week when they found a near-perfect match for this guy. Surgery happened last Tuesday. He said it's cool to be the first person to ever have a pig kidney and then a human one. A lot of horror movies about stuff like that. Did anything funky happen? Did you start, snorting when you laughed? Was there any sort of pig qualities? Did you start eating out of a trough? Don't pigs have, 30-minute orgasms? With corkscrew penises, isn't that? Or is that the duck? That's the duck. I think pigs have really long orgasms, though. Did that happen? Did your orgasms increase in length? I mean, some kind of weird sort of pigman stuff? It's the pigman, Jerry. Elsewhere, Husband of the Year candidate. This guy's a musician on TikTok. I don't know who he is, but he goes by the name of Empty Heaven. And a new song of his is going viral because his wife is a lawyer looking for work in the Chicago area, and so he wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it goes.
Somebody hire my wife. My wife is an attorney. She's a lot smarter than me. She's looking for legal work in Chicago or remote. At legal writing, she's the GOAT. Let me tell you her experience. She's on appeals, vehicular, animal cruelty, and SVU. I swear to God, if you hire her, she'll be a great addition to your crew.
It's one way to stand out in a crowded field. People looking for jobs. Have your husband write a song about it.
I wrote a song about it, like the kid. Here go. I play guitar, but that is guitar-wise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Calhoun Tubbs wrote a song about it. I'd like to hear it. Here go. Begging people on the internet to hire his wife, and it worked. Facing a tough legal job market, at empty_heaven turned his wife's resume into a catchy song, urging employers to hire my wife. Listed her experience, asking prospective job hunters or employers, to drop their contact info in the comments. And it seems to be working. The catchy tune went viral, over 1.5 million views on TikTok. And according to at empty_heaven, resume requests are coming through his DMs. This was from January 7th. Resonating with people who love to see a man going above and beyond to support his wife. I would do that for my wife if she was looking for a job, but it would go the opposite direction because I cannot play any instruments. I cannot sing. And I am not a very nice person, so I don't think people would find me very appealing when it came to begging for my wife to get a job. She has a better chance of getting a job on her own without me. But congrats to him, Husband of the Year candidate. Stay warm out there. Just got a text from Patrolman Pete. 18 below north of Ithaca on Highway 58. Why are people's pictures of their dashes always so blurry? I've gotten about 9 pictures today from people sent in of their dashboard because I asked, what was the temp? And they're like 90% of them are blurry. Take a second. Take a clear shot of the dash and then send it. I mean, I feel like I'm drunk looking at this thing. But yeah, 18 below north of Ithaca on Highway 58, according to Patrolman Pete. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it, even with the blurry photo. We got a lot to get to. Grant Bill's going to join me just after 8, so about an hour from now. Going to give you some cold weather hacks, speaking of the cold temps. Also, bad news, happy music later.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
And on the 364th day, when God was bored and simply trying to use up all his spare leftover parts, he said, I need someone to get up at 3:30 in the morning with a big mouth and a small amount of common sense. So God made a DJ. He said, I need someone who always knows the time and the temperature, the latest internet rumor, and what time the band takes the stage. So God made a DJ. I need someone willing to give caller number 8 a pair of tickets to the Herpes Simplex 12 screen, to spend their Saturdays handing out pizza to used car salesmen, and to ask every single caller what station's doing it for you. So God made a DJ. I need someone whose voice and face don't match, like the roar of a lion coming out of the butt of a chihuahua. So God made a DJ. I need someone who can say with a straight face that Nickelback is their favorite band, to ask you for the phrase that pays, and then inform you that you're listening to the hot rockin', flame-throwing, booty-kicking, steamrolling, corn-shucking tower of hit music power that's shaking the lakes and rocking the docks. So God made a DJ. He's a maestro of sexual innuendo, a virtuoso of the fart sound effect, and he or she is always doing it with you, to you, and for you right up until the big hour of 10 o'clock or beyond. Yes, God made a DJ so that one day, when your child comes to you and says, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, a carny, a clown, or a mime, you will have someone else to point to and say, just so you don't end up like that. And that's why God made a DJ.
Aw, National DJ Day. For some reason. Today is National DJ Day. I believe it has something to do with Alan Freed, the guy who kind of coined the term rock and roll back in the day. Something along those lines. Giving it, what is it, doing it to you, for you, and tickets to the Herpes Simplex 12? All right. I don't talk like that. Old school DJs did. You know, we would call those guys pukers. Those guys, you know. I try to talk as normal as humanly possible. And I'd still get, to this day, I don't know how, but 30 years into doing this thing for a career, I still get people who say, you don't look anything like I thought you looked like. Always interesting. What did you think I was going to look like? Especially with, the internet and social media, and our pictures are out there. You can find us. I mean, I'm all over the place. Happy National Radio well, I don't even know if it's Radio DJ. It's DJ Day. But yeah, the voice of a lion coming out of the butt of a chihuahua. That's a good one. Thank you very much. Pam says, happy National DJ to my favorites. Jacob said the voice of a lion coming out of the ass of a chihuahua. That was a good line. Also got a text from someone who sent in a very clear picture of their dash. It's -11 wherever they're at. Chilly. It's very chilly. By the way, today is also National Coffee Break Day. Take a couple extra ones this morning when you're walking around the office or you're on the job site. And also National Cheese Lovers Day.
Oh, my God. What is that? What was that? Is that cheese? Have you eaten cheese? How much cheese have you eaten today? How much cheese is too much cheese?
Any amount of cheese is too much cheese.
Before a date, it's too much cheese. I had a lot of cheese. I had a block of cheese. Okay, just a block of cheese. I was very nervous. I started eating cheese, man. All right. Does that calm you down? Just don't breathe in her direction, okay? Whatever you do.
Oh, Charlie Day. Never change. National Cheese Lovers Day. I think if my memory serves, we've got, I want to say 8 or 9 different kinds of cheeses right now in our fridge. We've got 2 different bags of shredded cheese. I know there's like 2 blocks of cheese for cutting up for like a snack or for a Bloody Mary. There's a mascarpone cheese my wife bought. I don't quite know what she bought it for, but we've got a container of that. There's also cottage cheese in the fridge. And then there's also like a bag of processed American cheese snacks. I don't know. Somehow those ended up in the fridge as well. But yeah, we've got a bunch of cheese. On National Cheese Lovers Day, National DJ Day, and National Coffee Break Day. So take an extra coffee break and say thanks to your favorite DJ. Whether it's me or Black Nick or whoever it is. His big-ass tongue. That thing's impressive. According to a news report, the average American, yours included, hits their daily energy low at about 2:06 p.m. They call that slump time. You need a slump buster. That has a different definition where I'm from. On average, people wish they had twice their current energy levels, and if they got that boost, 74% of people think they'd be earning more money, 18% would prioritize their friends and family more, and 44% of people blame a lack of energy for not exercising, while 31% say it limits their outdoor activities. But 2:06 p.m., you get your little energy low, a slump time. Maybe that'd be a good time to take that extra coffee break. Grab yourself a Red Bull or a Liquid Death or something along those lines. I don't know, something with some caffeine in it. 2:06 p.m.
2:06 p.m. hits and Americans drop into a low power mode.
I can barely keep my eyes open.
Now there's 2:06 Power Boost. Packed with espresso beans, a whisper of cocaine from the 80s, and the confidence to schedule meetings after lunch without fear. One sip and you're suddenly like,
let's have a meeting. Want to play pickleball after work? Gotta answer my emails. Don't forget to call Mom. What do we have for dinner? No worries, I'll pick something up on the way back from the gym.
2:06 Power Boost, turning burnout into ambition. Warning, highly addictive and may cause drowsiness when you finally crash. Do not ask your doctor if 2:06 Power Boost is right for you.
I found that a nice little nap always helps me revitalize. Got a text from Matt and Phil at the Blue Moon. Was just there yesterday with my wife having a delicious late breakfast. Had the Denver omelet with some hash browns. It was chef's kiss. Delicious. My wife went with the Monte Cristo. Matt and Phil said, go DJ, that's my DJ. Can we hear some Poppy at some point? You can, and I'll get to that here in just a bit. Right now, Faith No More.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We may have to pivot. I had plans to do a lot of other stuff this morning and talk about things, but I just got a text message that is extremely offensive, and we may have to pivot here because, Rich, you may not like the response you're going to get from this, Rich. I got to be honest for you. I got a text from Rich, and he said, Brian, did you really say cottage cheese is a type of cheese? That is some crazy assumptions. Now, this is Rich texting me because it's National Cheese Lovers Day, and I was sort of listing off all of these cheeses that we have in our fridge, and one of them was cottage cheese. Rich texted in immediately and said, Brian, did you really say cottage cheese is a type of cheese? That is some crazy assumptions. I don't know anyone that puts cottage cheese in the cheese drawer, and also don't know anyone that serves cottage cheese for a charcuterie board. Number one, the cottage cheese is not in the cheese drawer. It's on the shelf where the milk is and where the coffee creamer is. Number two, a cheese is not defined by where it goes. A charcuterie board doesn't make it a cheese. And if you know anything about cheese, Rich, and you took your head right out of your ass, you'd know that cottage cheese is a cheese. It's like cheese curds. It's made from milk cheese. It's milk curds. Rich, you are completely 100% in the wrong. It even says cheese in the name, cottage cheese. So I don't know what the hell your problem is. Maybe you don't like cottage cheese. That's fine. You could just say that. I don't like cottage cheese. But to assume that I'm wrong for calling cottage cheese a cheese is erroneous. You are erroneous, Richard. Dick. Maybe you should stick to things that you know about, Rich, which is I don't know. I don't know what you know about, Rich, but you don't know diddly-poo about cheese. If you're trying to accuse me of calling cottage cheese a cheese and saying I'm wrong, that cottage cheese is not a cheese, you are wrong, Mr. Man. You are very wrong. Very wrong. Now I'm completely off my game. I was going to talk about sports. I was going to talk about all sorts of other things, but now we've got this Rich problem we got to deal with. Richard. Dick for short. Texting in about cottage cheese not being a cheese. I don't know what state you live in, brah. But around these parts, cottage cheese is cheese. And here he comes with a response, just like Dick would. Bucks got a win yesterday, barely. They almost blew a 23-point lead over the Hawks. There was like several possessions down the stretch there when there was only a couple of minutes left where they didn't even get the ball to Giannis. He didn't even touch the ball on the offensive side of the basket. It was like, what are you doing, dude? Get the ball to the big man. Throwing up these threes, like, what are you doing? Indiana over Miami last night in the College Football National Championship, 27-21. Indiana undefeated on the season, their first national championship. AFC, NFC Conference Championships, of course, on Sunday. Patriots, Broncos, 2 o'clock, CBS. Followed by the Rams and Seahawks at 5:30 on Fox. Green Day got announced yesterday as the opening band for Super Bowl 60. They'll perform in a special ceremony during the Super Bowl on February 8th. Celebrating the Super Bowl 60th anniversary. Going to have a bunch of Super Bowl MVPs from the last 6 decades. And, of course, let's not forget that Billy Joe Armstrong just 4 years ago denounced his American citizenship.
America, I'm renouncing my citizenship. I'm just have too much stupid in the world to go back to that miserable excuse for a country.
Yeah, so that was him in London in 2022. And he'll sure take a lot of shots at our great country. Mr. Butthurt Chap Lips, Billy Joe Armstrong, but he'll certainly be hypocritical enough to come here and make a bunch of money. So, yeah, there's that. Green Day. Opening up Super Bowl. I'll skip that. I'll be too busy watching Patriots porn. Hype videos for the Pats. Can't wait. Last but not least, this is crazy. I don't know if you've seen the video. This is wild. This is LeBron-esque. This dude's flop is crazy. It's one of the best flops / worst flops I've ever seen. A longtime Kansas high school basketball referee is now stepping away from officiating after an absolutely ridiculous clip of this dude flopping while working a game on Friday night went viral. Kansas State High School Activities Association releasing a statement yesterday saying it was aware of the incident during a girls' basketball game between the Bonner Springs and Eudora teams. Jeff Freeman was the official. During the second half, he gave a Bonner Springs player a technical foul for arguing a call. All right, not uncommon. That player quickly got themselves a second technical and was ejected from the game. As that player was leaving the court, she and the Bonner Springs head coach, Peyton Leslie, approached the referee to keep talking about the play and the technical fouls. The player can be seen slightly touching the official. Now, she didn't reach out. She didn't push. It was just more of like they happened to be sort of in the same area and brushed up against each other. The official, again, just barely touching the player, the much smaller girl, by the way, then flopped back onto the court, much like LeBron has done. Any soccer player who ever seen, it's just one of the most ridiculous things. This guy took a step back from officiating for the near future. It's unclear how long he'll be sidelined or if he'll face any sort of other discipline. But if you haven't seen the video, go ahead and give it a Google. It's pretty hilarious. This Kansas high school basketball referee going viral for this massive flop that he took after barely coming within an inch of a high school girls basketball player. Yeah. And we'll get back to Rich here in just a couple minutes. Rich dick. Trying to say that cottage cheese isn't cheese. This effing guy. Jesus. You need to get your head on straight, bro. You can't be going to work with people in this state and saying things like that. You just can't. You can't do it. Charlie Barons is going to come to your work and he's going to take your fob. You're not going to be able to get in the building. It's going to be a mess.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. She is out today. So it's just me talking to you, playing your songs. Unless your name is Rich and you're trying to convince me that cottage cheese is not cheese. And Rich and I have gone back and forth a little bit here, and I have finally gotten Rich to come to his senses. Right there on the wiki. Cottage cheese is a type of fresh cheese with a mild flavor and a creamy, heterogeneous texture made from skimmed milk. Now, look, I'm not saying you got to like it. I'm just saying that if you're putting it in a classification of foods, it's a cheese. Rich texted in earlier and said, because it's National Cheese Lovers Day, and I was trying to run down in my brain a list of all the cheeses that we had in the fridge at our house. And he said, did you really say cottage cheese is a type of cheese? That is some crazy assumptions. I don't know anyone that puts cottage cheese in the cheese drawer, and also don't know anyone that serves cottage cheese for a charcuterie board. Now, the charcuterie board is an obvious reason. It's just not an easy cheese to, unless it's a larger curd. It's not an easy cheese to grab off a charcuterie board with a toothpick or with your fingers or some sort of tong or whatever. That's why it doesn't go on there. It's more of almost like a liquid. And I also don't put my cottage cheese in the cheese drawer. It goes on the shelf with the milk and the coffee creamer. I said to Rich that it says cheese in the name, therefore it is certainly a cheese, not to mention it is defined as a cheese. He said just because it says cheese in the name does not officially count as cheese. Cottage cheese would be like the Cleveland Browns of cheese. Does it really count? And again, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying that you cannot say it's not cheese. It is cheese, 100%. I included a link to the Wikipedia page, and I encouraged him to read, learn, and grow. And he said, sometimes things are just said to get a reaction. I have read, learned, and grown in the cheese department. I concede. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that. A little back and forth. Thank you for the content. I appreciate it. Rich, texting in about cheese, cottage cheese. Also got a text from Brody, who said, hey, FYI, Liquid Death has no caffeine. I was referring to the fact that Liquid Death has an energy drink because we were talking about the 206 energy slump that the average American goes through every day. Poor Brody. Read the can sometimes every once in a while. He said, is it though? Brody said, I've been drinking it for a few years, thought it was just a good scheme to actually get me to drink water. Right there, part of their company tagline. They call it a better for you beverage with water, iced tea, and sparkling energy. Murder your thirst. Death to plastic bottles. Look, I can't keep educating people. I just can't do it. I also got a text from Ned about cottage cheese. He said, I don't care if cottage cheese is a cheese or not. The best place for it is in the garbage right next to ranch dressing. Oof. Yeah. Look, again, you don't have to like it, but it is a cheese. 100%. Got a text from Brenda, said, thanks for being the best DJ we love listening to. You bring a lot to the radio. I do, actually, because I weigh a lot more now than I did 10 years ago. So, thanks, Brenda. Got a text from somebody, not quite sure who this is. Said, I think the only cheese that's not a cheese is head cheese. There might be, there's also that one that Andrew Zimmern ate with the maggots in it. Did you ever see that episode? Yeah, head cheese is like a meat jelly, right? Isn't it some sort of meat jelly? Ugh. You can take that, and you can take lutefisk, and you can keep it, because I want nothing to do with it. There are way better cuts of meat than head cheese. Now, back in the day when you had to eat the whole damn thing from the rooter to the tutor, yeah, you had to have head cheese. It was a thing. But nowadays, give me a prime rib. I'll be all right. A lot of texts about food, obviously. Got a text from someone who said West Salem. It's 11 below in West Salem. Nice clear picture of their dash. A lot of people texting in pictures of their dash today for the temperatures that are out there. Not quite sure if you saw this, but apparently cayenne pepper can go on your socks. NFL player, did you see this over the weekend? In the Rams-Bears game on Sunday? Yeah, they mentioned putting cayenne pepper in their socks to keep themselves warm. And apparently it works. During the pregame on Sunday of the Rams-Bears game, they mentioned some of the Rams players were putting cayenne pepper in their socks. It's supposed to keep your feet warm, but does it really work? The answer is yes. Experts say it can really make a difference. I don't know if I'm putting cayenne in my socks. I might put some of those hot pads in there, but capsaicin is what makes peppers spicy, obviously. If you rub it on your skin, it widens your blood vessels, helps with blood flow, causes a warming sensation. So feel free to sprinkle some chili powder in your socks before you leave for work on cold days. Just don't overdo it. Obviously, if you use too much of that, it could feel like your feet are burning instead of warming up. But during the Rams and Bears pregame talking about cayenne pepper in their socks.
Wow. And so how many times have you done that?
Just like when it get cold, like when we played Green Bay one year.
Okay.
It's like just cold games like this when it get like real cold.
And how does it help? It makes your feet warm?
Yeah.
So did you bring your own cayenne pepper? Like where did you get it?
Bird had it. I told Bird earlier in the week he had it ready for us.
What, is that your equipment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe get better shoes. I don't know. I suppose when you're wearing cleats out there, it doesn't really help much, but cayenne pepper in your socks. I think I'm going to avoid that. I'd stay away from that one. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show going to join me in just a little bit. Talk about the divisional round, the upcoming championship rounds, maybe get a little bit of feedback from him. I think he was at that Pat Murphy thing over the weekend. Brewers head coach Pat Murphy was in the area. He was in Eau Claire, then he was in La Crosse, and I don't know if Grant went to that, but we'll find out, see if he was, and if he did go to it, we'll get his reaction. Here's a band that's going to be in La Crosse at the Center this weekend. We talked to Elias of Nonpoint last week. You can hear our interview online at rockmornings.com, and you can also buy your tickets for the Riverfront Revolt at the La Crosse Center box office or online at lacrossecenter.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15 on Tuesdays, joined by the one and only Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on stations all across Wisconsin, including WKTY and La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1, and now in the Appleton area, correct? The Fox Valley.
Correct. Appleton and Oshkosh up on the score. Isn't that great?
Look at you, Mr. Worldwide. You're like Pitbull.
Yeah, it's statewide, not even statewide, present here and there.
All right.
Everybody, here's the thing, Simpson. You understand how radio works. Somebody gets on 2 affiliates in the state of Wisconsin. We're statewide. You're not. You got the Cooley region, and you're in Madison. Bill Michaels, he's been statewide forever. Now anybody with a collection of 2 or 3 radio signals, we're coast to coast on the state of Wisconsin. No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, and you have the advent of the internet and YouTubes and all that stuff. So there's certainly people. We get listeners. We had a map in here for a long time. We had a world map in the studio, and we would stick pins in it when we would get emails and text messages from people in all sorts of different parts of the world. Because there'll be people that'll tune into you from Greenland or Ireland or China or wherever the hell they are. Especially, a lot of our armed service members, armed forces. They'll be listening on bases all across the world. And so we would get texts from them, and it was always cool to hear from them. And we would stick a pin in the mat, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I like the map in your studio. We're about to be big in Greenland. I can feel it. We're going to be big time popularity in that land mass before too long. It's going to be a big point for your show and for mine in the coming months.
We're gonna do a whole week of programming based on Greenland. That's what we're gonna do.
There's not much to talk about, man. There's a lot of ice and rocks.
Well, thankfully we have a lot to talk about from this past weekend. Obviously, there were a lot of games. Let's kind of do what we did last week. We'll ask Grant about the specific games, get his reaction. Buffalo, Denver, a wild one. Was it a catch? Was it an interception? Josh Allen had it. This was his year, and then they fired the coach. You kind of saw that coming, right? He was a dead man walking. You figured as soon as McDermott lost, they were gonna run his ass out of Buffalo, unless they came away with a Super Bowl championship. Even though Buffalo's team wasn't as good, this seemed like the year because there was basically no fences in front of Josh Allen. There was nothing in the AFC keeping him out of the Super Bowl.
So here's the thing about Buffalo. The Super Bowl or bust expectations. No Mahomes, no Lamar. I didn't think his team, the Bills, were nearly as good as the Broncos. And we talked about this last week, right? The Bills have a good running back, a good left tackle. The Broncos have talent all over the place. But that game transpired exactly how you'd want it to go as a Bills fan or as Josh Allen. Just have it close. Give us a chance in the fourth quarter with the ball so Josh Allen can go be the man and go win the game. And he had a couple of chances, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And they actually had to work a lot harder in that game to come back because Josh Allen was throwing picks or, fumbling the ball like it was his rookie year all over again before halftime. Getting a new coach is probably the right thing for them because McDermott's been there a while and it hasn't worked. but I don't think he was the issue on Saturday. Josh Allen had plenty of chances to win that game. They couldn't do it. And who cares? It feels like a coin flip call, catch, interception, whatever. The Bills were not robbed by that call, even if it seems frustrating. I guess by the letter of the law, it's a pick. It looks a little weird to me, but it didn't decide the game.
I think the other game on Saturday we can kind of skip. It was a complete blowout. It's been the biggest blowout of the playoffs. The Seahawks definitely came out ready to go and trounced. I mean, they didn't have to score after the first return there, the first kick, the kickoff to the game. They wouldn't have had to score anymore, and they would have had that game locked up. But do you think it was San Fran, just too many injuries, or were they just woefully unprepared?
No, I think Shanahan and Saleh, who just took the Tennessee job last night, I think they'd done their best coaching in a while with this team. I think they were prepared. I think they were out of bodies. And, they had traveled to Philly the previous week, traveled all the way back across country, then traveled up to Seattle. So they're probably running on fumes. They're running out of bodies. And Seattle is awesome. And they hit hard, and they're smart, and they find advantages on special teams. So, no, that's probably how that game should have gone. And Seattle's probably the best team in the NFC. So as a neutral football fan at this point, I'm glad that they're still alive and hosting the NFC Championship game. I'd certainly rather watch a game up there than in SoFi, or in one of these domes. Like, there's going to be some character to the NFC Championship game next weekend.
Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show joining me on the phone each and every Tuesday. On Sunday, we had a matchup of, the best defense in the world that you've ever seen. That was at least what I heard all week long, was that the Houston Texans defense was so good, there was no way the Patriots were going to be able to do anything. But if you looked at that quarterback in the previous game the Texans played, even though they put up a bunch of points, you knew that C.J. Stroud was going to cough the ball up, and that's exactly what he did. He accounted for 5 turnovers. The Patriots defense got in his face all day long. They scored when they needed to. They weren't all that good on offense either, but the Pats come away a 28-16 winner and are going to the AFC Championship game again. Here we go again.
Yeah. How about that? I can't believe how bad Stroud was.
Oh,
the turnovers.
You can't pay him. You gotta pick somebody else. They got to go into the draft and get some or trade. You can't pay that guy the money. I mean, he looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
I thought they might have benched him at halftime. Honestly, they won a couple games with Davis Mills this year.
Yeah.
And to be fair to the Texans defense, you'd say, well, they didn't do their job. The only points off a turnover they gave up were off a pick six.
And it was
they bowed up and held the Patriots every time. Marcus Jones is just God, I'd love for the Packers to have a guy like that. But yeah, now the Patriots go to Denver, and what happens? Bo Nix is hurt, but not before he beats Josh Allen for the Patriots.
Thank you.
Bo Nix, just incredible. Bo Nix plays the whole game, beats the Bills, and then breaks his ankle. I mean, it's like Tom Brady never left Simpson. I think your team is good, and what they've done this year is great, but my God, it's like the football gods have rolled out the red carpet for you guys all over again. It's like Brady never left.
If Drake May can stop with the fumbles and the interceptions, or at least limit them to maybe one against Denver, then I give him a hell of a good chance, because Stidham is he's not good. I don't think Stidham's got what it takes. He hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL in 2 seasons, and so I don't think Stidham is the answer there in Denver. The final game last weekend, of course, Bears. And a stunning comeback there with that pass. He must have backpedaled for 20 yards and then uncorked this amazing throw and gets the touchdown to send it to overtime. But then guess what happens? They lose to the Rams in overtime, and now we've got Rams and Seahawks in the NFC Championship game.
It's very funny to me. This is such a case study in perspective and how Packers fans and Bears fans have had it so different. So the Bears lose in a game where Caleb Williams makes an unbelievable throw. Yeah, one of the plays of the year. But throws 3 interceptions, including the one that decided the game in overtime. And overwhelmingly, the coverage from Bears media, I'm paying attention to 670 The Score and ESPN Chicago. The future is bright. Caleb Williams has the good, right? And this is the difference in perspective. If a Packers quarterback, if Jordan Love had a performance like that, we'd go ballistic on him this week. We'd want him out of town, and we'd want Malik Willis here to start next year. Well, yeah, the Hail Mary, that throw to the end zone, whatever, that was a prayer ball. He heaved it up. Let's talk about the interceptions, or let's talk about the fumbles or the 4th down, you know what I mean? So a crazy difference in perspective, a very fun season for the Bears. I can't believe the Rams were able to win that game. They sold so hard when they gave up that touchdown. Corners are the worst people in the world. Packers fans, you know this. It reminded me of the 2-point conversion they gave up in Seattle in the NFC Championship game in 2015, where the quarterback throws a prayer, and you think, oh, well, all the corner's got to do is make a play on the ball like an outfielder, and the corner's looking the wrong way, running backwards, no clue what's going on. So that's what it reminded me of. I cannot believe the Rams were able to get the train back on the tracks and win that game, because it felt like they were choking. And I guess credit to Sean McVay and his team. I think it's the two best teams in the NFC now, the Seahawks and the Rams. This is probably the two best teams and probably the NFC Championship game that the league and that the fans deserve.
Let's move ahead then. Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. Let's talk about those championship games. As we've already kind of mentioned, Bo Nix not going to be the quarterback for Denver Patriots. I did not want them to go to Denver until he broke his ankle, and they have to start, a guy who hasn't played much in the NFL in Jared Stidham. And so, Patriots, Denver, 2 o'clock on Sunday. What are you thinking is going to happen here?
Is it weird that I'm not going to say I like Denver, but I'm very interested at the possibility of what Denver could do. I think their roster is better than the Patriots. Simpson, I think what the Patriots have built this year is awesome, and what the coaches have done, like players like Christian Ellis, who I don't think is anything special, like making huge plays. Mm-hmm. Carlton Davis, who I think is mostly over the hill, making huge plays. Those guys have bowed up and are playing at a really high level. I think Denver is much more talented on both sides of the ball. And Denver's a weird place to play. You know this. Sean Payton's won games in the past with Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know, man. If I were you, I would be nervous. I'd almost rather be going to play Bo Nix. I mean, maybe not, but you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, now it feels like this is a game you can't afford to lose. Like, all the pressure's on you. That element would make me a little nervous. I'm not so sure that that's going to be enough for the Broncos to win, but if I were you, I'd be a little nervous. Does that make sense?
Look, I never want to go to Denver, but if we are going to go to Denver, I want to go to Denver when they're starting a backup quarterback, and I want them to go when they're starting a backup quarterback by the name of Jared Stidham, who was drafted by the Patriots, by the way, and was the heir apparent to the Tom Brady throne until the guy went to Texas for a month for a wedding and then got blacklisted by Bill Belichick. And so give me Stiggy all day. Right. I don't know if you remember that. And his wife's trying to be YouTube famous, and she's a real pain in the ass. I think it's going to be a rough week for Jared Stidham, and on the field and off the field. I think he's going to look like C.J. Stroud out there. I don't think the Pats defense has gotten enough credit in the postseason. These last two games, Drake May has played like kind of hot garbage, and they've been able to win these two games on defense. It's been kind of a spectacular turnaround.
Hot garbage, a little bit, yeah. And I guess that's a part of the arithmetic of this game too. It's like, well, how much worse could Jared Stidham play than C.J. Stroud? You know what I mean? Like, that's the baseline. And the Texans were in that game into the third quarter. So if Jared Stidham plays a similar game and the game goes similarly, it wasn't a blowout last weekend, at least until the very end. Now, this game being in Denver, maybe that impacts things a little bit. I'm with you. The Patriots probably haven't gotten enough credit. It's just so hard because it's not that they beat nobody. It's that the one big game they had this year that was front and center was against the Bilse. And they won one of those games and lost the other. And that's kind of it. I think Justin Herbert stinks, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you beat a dead horse. That horse was already dead in the wild card round. And Houston was, that defense is nasty, but my God, CJ Stroud. So I'm trying to give your team its due. This is a path to the Super Bowl. It would be a path to the Super Bowl that's basically the easiest we've ever seen.
Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. Last one, of course, is the game on Sunday at 5:30 between the Rams and the Seahawks. The Seahawks absolutely dominating the 49ers last weekend. Do they have what it takes to do the same thing to the Rams? I mean, I know that Stafford's got a thumb injury or something, right?
No, wait, Stafford's got a bad back and a bad thumb?
I thought he had he had a hand issue.
2013 or 2016 or 2016. It is Matthew Stafford every year. His thumb and his back. There's always an issue. So if anyone is equipped to play through it, it's Matthew Stafford. Here's the rub, okay? I think Seattle is the much better team. The Rams' defense is kind of sneaky overrated. I know they played okay in Chicago. They kept the points down, but I don't believe in that pass rush. I don't believe in that defense, really. They've been bad for the last 2 months, and that's why the Rams have needed to score in the 30s and the 40s to win. I think other than Puka Nacua, Seattle is basically better across the board. However, Sam Darnold against the Rams in his career has been kind of a disaster and kind of a train wreck. They've really, really beaten up on him, starting with when he was with the Vikings last year, the 2 games this year. Now, the Rams came back, or the Seahawks came back, rather, and won one of those games. Crazy comeback with a big punt return. it would be crazy to pick the Rams in this game on the road against a team that I think is better, but that whole Sam Darnold effect. Now, I guess the other thought process, Simpson, is they don't need Sam Darnold to do that much. He threw for like 150 yards last weekend. If they can be in that type of a game, Seattle should win. I think they're better. They're really well coached. They have great special teams. Seattle should win unless Sam Darnold completely and totally melts down, but I think it's the goal of Seattle to not ask Sam Darnold to do that much. So I like the Seahawks.
Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, weekday afternoons from 4 until 6. A recap of the divisional round, a look ahead to the AFC and NFC Conference Championship games this weekend. Always a pleasure, sir. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
These are a few of the best weekends of the year. Enjoy it, because once the NFL's done, then it's just winter, and then it just sucks outside.
Real quick before you go, you are going to the Super Bowl, right, with Bill this year?
Correct. We will be there on Radio Row for a week, so if you want to do a little check-in, I'll try to get some good celebrity gossip and such.
Yeah, I'll text you later this week, and we'll start to figure out what your schedule is down there, and then we'll set something up, okay?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Simpson. Nice to chat.
Pleasure. Grant Bilse, always a pleasure. Might have to choke it down.
I guess I maybe would have tried to choke it down.
Yeah. That's Grant for you, trying to choke things down.
I just want to know who the starting shortstop.
Starting shortstop. Or starting shortstop. Either way. Always a pleasure to get Grant Bilse on the phone. We're going to get to Bad News with Happy Music next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Tennessee is where we're going to start this morning. I don't know how grown-ups allow these kind of things to happen. But every time we do this, there's always some idiot out there doing something that I scratch my head. A Tennessee mother is hoping that a judge will spare her after she allegedly allowed her 5-year-old daughter to wax dozens of women. Now, look, I'm not saying that a 5-year-old kid shouldn't have the occasional chore or duty around the house. Maybe taking out the trash. I don't know. Is a 5-year-old old enough to take out the trash? Maybe putting dishes in the dishwasher. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of job or chore or duty around the house that a 5-year-old can handle. Something small, something easy. Maybe putting away your toys, right? You took all this stuff out, put it all back. But waxing dozens of women? Not sure if that's the right gig. Jasmine Moss, accused of 1 count of child abuse and child neglect, according to the Memphis Police Department. These incidents occurred back in 2024. Law enforcement received a series of complaints about a post on social media. Police claim a viral Instagram post showcases Moss's waxing business that included several photos of clients. And in some of the photos, the defendant's daughter was depicted applying hot wax to the pubic area of naked women. So not only is the mom allowing the daughter and getting the daughter to do this stuff, but the women that are getting the treatment are allowing this to happen? Like, you're going in there and you're like, yeah, a 5-year-old doing this sounds like a good idea. I'm going to let a 5-year-old put hot wax on my pubic area. Again, every day I do this and I just scratch my head. Who are these people? What are they doing? Who thought this was a good idea? Moss, the mom, allegedly operated her hair removal business out of her residence. Detectives allege that the defendant's daughter helped apply the hot wax to over 24 clients over more than 8 hours at this place. The post that was deleted from Instagram said, she literally helped me wax 24 clients starting from 7:25 until 5 p.m. She made a total of $744, and I'm going to put the money towards whatever her future dreams and aspirations are. Again, this is a 5-year-old child waxing naked women's pubic area. This is not sweeping up the hair in a beauty salon or organizing the drawer. This is applying hot wax to naked women in their pubic area for a 5-year-old. Yeah, Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance said they got 86 different complaints about the business owner. The case has dragged on since Moss was first arrested. Allegations were sent to a grand jury. Then she was finally indicted on the counts in January of this year. In the time between the initial arrest and the indictment, the volunteer state has opened up ancillary investigations. Moss's defense attorney said, hopefully I can push them to drop this. It's an unusual case. It's a little complicated because there's a DCS investigation, and there are some licensing issues with Moss with the cosmetology board. Yeah, she's in big trouble. You're in big trouble, mister. Don't you have to be licensed to apply hot wax to women's pubic area? I mean, what do I know? But it sounds like something you might need to have some schooling or a license for, not just sort of an at-home thing. I guess we'll find out. 5-year-old daughter applying hot wax to the pubic area of a bunch of naked women and earning $744 in a day. I may be in the wrong business. I don't think that I'd have as much success. I don't think that I would. A 25-year-old woman in Texas has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after authorities say she threatened and attempted to strike another woman with a 25-pound weight during a confrontation at a gym. This happened on January 6th at a 24-hour fitness location in Spring, Texas. Deputies say the suspect, identified as Erilyn Martinez, got angry after seeing a woman she believed was involved with her boyfriend. When keeping it real goes wrong.
They're probably just using the facility at the same time. These two individuals don't necessarily know each other to our knowledge. So luckily, people that were around stepped in and calmed the situation. We do know a 25-pound weight or any weight near those pounds can be a deadly weapon, considering where you hit the person at.
Man. So they just happened to be at the gym at the same time, and this other woman was, like, talking to her boyfriend? Investigators allege that Martinez spotted the woman working out on the gym floor, grabbed a 25-pound weight plate, so one of the ones you put on a bar, and rushed towards her. I wasn't sure if it was a dumbbell or a kettlebell, but, yeah, it was one of those plates. So she was going to just smash her head with the plate. Cell phone video reviewed by the deputies reportedly shows Martinez threatening to drop the weight on the woman before throwing it towards her head. The woman was able to move out of the way and just in time to avoid serious injury. Flores said people nearby intervened and were able to calm the situation down before it escalated any further. Martinez left the gym shortly after, but was later arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, released on a $1,000 bond. All because this woman was working out and maybe looked at or talked to your boyfriend at the gym? Yikes, dude. Yikes. Scary. Speaking of scary, this is wild. This is a hashtag Florida man. Shoplifting incident in Stuart, Florida, escalating into a potentially very dangerous situation when the deputies there discovered a suspect attempting to ignite a shotgun slug in a Panera bathroom. So this guy's got a shotgun shell and apparently stuck it in his mouth and then was trying to light the thing with a lighter so that the round would go off in his mouth. Deputies initially believed they were arresting a shoplifting suspect, but that situation quickly escalated. They had no idea what they were dealing with until our suspect was in custody, said the sheriff down there. Incident began when staff at a grocery store caught this guy, his name is Hugh, shoplifting. He was aggressive towards the people at the store, meaning he was confrontational, didn't fight with them, but he was confrontational. He was swearing. He then left the store, walked to a nearby Panera, and entered the bathroom, screaming at people along the way. Deputies found him in the bathroom shortly after. Initially, they thought he was smoking drugs in there. They soon realized that what was in his mouth was a 12-gauge shotgun slug. And he was using a lighter to try and start it and set it off, essentially.
They had no idea what they were dealing with until our suspect was in custody. He was aggressive towards them, meaning that he was confrontational. He didn't fight with them, but he was confrontational. He was swearing. They realized that what the suspect was actually doing was trying to set off a 12-gauge shotgun slug. It rarely happens, but bullets actually can fire if they're exposed to enough heat and fire. We see that in car fires with rounds going off. This could have ended catastrophically. A shotgun round, a slug round, could penetrate the suspect, could penetrate our deputies.
Yeah. Apparently had it in his mouth and was trying to use the lighter to set it off. That would have been real bad. Oof. He was arrested. Deputies intervened before any harm occurred. They took him into custody, confiscated a couple of other shotgun shells and slugs. This guy now facing several charges, including resisting arrest. Sheriff also mentioned plans to seek mental health assistance. Yeah. Sounds like that guy might need a little, maybe a lot. Scary. Bad news with happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Going to get to our daily check-ins after Metallica.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website where you can find all of our contact info. Don't forget, you can also download the two apps, the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app. Download them both. You can listen to the show wherever you go. You can sign up to win contests. You can even submit voicemails, pictures, and videos through the app. Apps, I should say. Just got a text a few minutes ago from Sarah, who said that's so gross and sad, unusual case. Referring to the mom in Tennessee who allowed her 5-year-old daughter to wax the pubic area of a bunch of grown women. Yeah, that is sad and unusual. Got a text from Galesville Mike talking about the 9-pin tap tournament that we had on Saturday to raise money for the Rock Foundation. He said, all the ball lickers had a great time at the 9-pin tap tournament. I shared clips from the Monday show with our friends out of town, and they all loved it. Now I have a difficult task of coming up with a better shirt for next year. That might be hard to top. Thank you again, and see you this weekend. Mike from Galesville. We'll see Mike and his lovely wife Heidi at the Riverfront Revolt at the Lacrosse Center. They, of course, bowled in our tournament, as they have for a number of years, and surprised me with a T-shirt. Every member of their team wearing a T-shirt with a image of my face licking some balls, and called themselves the Ball Lickers. Even gave my wife a shirt. I've got one as well. So thank you, Mike. The shirts are great, and I will wear it proudly. Got a text from someone, not quite sure who it is. Earlier, they said, my car in Black River Falls shows minus 13. Ice fishing should be fun today. Got a lot of texts about the temperatures this morning. Rich, of course, with the text of the morning talking about cottage cheese not being an actual cheese. He said, Brian, did you really say cottage cheese is a type of cheese? That is some crazy assumptions. I don't know how anyone puts cottage cheese in the cheese drawer, and also don't know anyone that serves cottage cheese for a charcuterie board. I was listing off all the cheeses that we had in our fridge for National Cheese Lovers Day, and Rich, for some reason, thought that cottage cheese was not a cheese. It is 100% a cheese. You may not like it, but it is a cheese. And I don't put it in the cheese drawer. I put it on a shelf. And I also don't put it on a charcuterie board because you can't really eat it with your fingers. It's more of like a spoon or a fork dish. Put it on the plate or maybe right out of the container. Ned texted in about cottage cheese. He said, I don't care if cottage cheese is a cheese or not. The best place for that is in the garbage right next to the ranch dressing. Boy, Ned's got some spicy takes on his food. National DJ Day as well as National Cheese Lovers Day. Got a bunch of texts from Brenda and Pam wishing me a happy National DJ Day. Thank you very much. Matt and Phil wanted to hear some Poppy. They're working at the Blue Moon in the kitchen. Sorry, guys, I did not get to that. I apologize. Maybe tomorrow morning. Also got a text from several other people about Landman. Roxy from the 715 said Landman is a really good show, kind of like Yellowstone. More comedy, but still some drama. The characters are great. I also got a text from Sarge. Said, good morning, Gene and Brian. Hope you're both well and warm. I can tell you that I will not be enjoying my morning walk crossing the Lock and Dam 5A this morning. Thought it was cold yesterday. 2.5 years, then no more of this craziness. Have a rockin' great day. Thank you, Sarge. He works at the Lock and Dam, and he's got to be out there in the cold, and I'm sure it's chilly on the water. He also said that Landman is good. Thanks, Sarge. Appreciate that. Have a great rest of your day. We will talk to you tomorrow.